Today we are going to discuss a throttling calorimeter. Okay, in my previous video, I have explained the bucket or barrel calorimeter. Okay. So calorimeter is basically a device which is used to measure the dryness fraction of steam. So let's look at this. So before going to throttling calorimeter, first we have to look at throttling process. What is throttling process? Okay. So basically sometimes fluids flow through a restriction such as orifice, a valve or a porous medium, and because of this restriction there is a drop in pressure inside the pipe. So this process is known as throttling process. In throttling process, no work is developed and enthalpy of the system will remain constant. Means enthalpy of system before throttling will be equal to enthalpy of the system after throttling. So let's consider a restricted pipe and we are having a flow of steam at pressure P1 and temperature T1. Okay, I have taken this pressure as an example, 25 bar. Okay, initially the system is having the pressure, this much pressure and some temperature. Okay. So as soon as the steam flows through this restriction, there will be a drop in pressure as well as temperature of the system. Okay. But the enthalpy of the system at this pressure will be equal to enthalpy of the system at this reduced pressure. Okay. If wet steam is throttled to a considerably low pressure, the liquid evaporates and the steam becomes superheated. This statement states that if we are having a wet steam and we are making it flow through this restriction, then if we can achieve the pressure drop very low, then the liquid present in the steam will evaporate. We can see that the pressure after throttling, temperature after throttling is reduced and still we are achieving the evaporation of liquid particles. How this happens? We will look in this video later on. Okay, so let's have a look at the construction of throttling calorimeter. This figure is taken from the Element of Mechanical Engineering book by H.G. Kataria. So first take a look at over here. This is the main steam pipe from which we are collecting the sample to measure the dryness fraction, and this is the sampling tube. On the left side of sampling tube we are having a pressure gauge to measure the initial pressure of this wet steam or steam sample, and we are flowing that steam through throttling valve, and this sampling tube opens up in this chamber in which we can see a sinusoidal passage, and on the right side of this chamber a manometer is connected. A manometer is basically a device which is used to measure the pressure, and there is some liquid inside the manometer, and this HW represents the difference in these levels of manometer tube. So how the dryness fraction is measured? The principle is same, that in throttling process enthalpy of steam before throttling will be equal to enthalpy of steam after throttling. And as we have stated that if we throttle the wet steam, then that steam will become superheated because all the liquid particles present in the steam will be evaporated. So steam will eventually become dry or superheated. So we will collect this wet steam sample from this tube and we will throttle that system. We will throttle that steam inside this chamber. Okay, so the pressure will be measured by manometer and the temperature of the steam after throttling will be recorded by this thermometer. This sinusoidal or zigzag pattern of this passage is made because made to achieve the higher amount of pressure drop. Okay. So now this is the working, how the experiment will be performed. So now from experiment, how we will find dryness fraction, that we will look. Let's first look at nomenclatures. First, P1 is the pressure of the steam before throttling. The pressure measured by pressure gauge over here. P2 is the pressure of the steam after throttling, means pressure measured by this manometer. Okay, pressure equation of pressure from manometer is P is equal to rho GH is equal to density into gravitational acceleration into this height difference inside the manometer, where rho is density of the liquid of inside manometer and g is gravitational acceleration. So from this equation we can find out the pressure from manometer. X1 is the dryness fraction of the steam, means dryness fraction of steam present over here was to be measured. HF is the enthalpy of water before and after throttling respectively. HFG1 is the enthalpy of evaporation at pressure P1 at this pressure. Hg2 is enthalpy of saturated steam at pressure P2, means at reduced pressure or at dropped pressure. Capital HW is the height of manometer in mm of water, height measured inside manometer. Cp is the specific heat of superheated steam. T saturation 2 is the saturated temperature of steam at pressure P2. T super 2 is equal to temperature of superheated steam after throttling and measured by thermometer. Okay, this temperature T saturation can be obtained from steam table corresponding to pressure P2, and this temperature T superheated is measured by this thermometer in this experiment. Okay, so let's have a look at the process on TH plot. First, we are having some pressure and we have collected the sample of wet steam. Okay, so wet steam is present between point B and C. So we have collected the sample from this point, which is in wet region. So enthalpy of this point is equal to HF1 plus X1 HFG1. Okay, this equation I already explained in properties of steam chapter. This is the enthalpy of wet steam. And after throttling, we have seen that we are obtaining the pressure drop, or pressure drop is happening after throttling process. Okay, so our new pressure is pressure P2, which is lower than pressure P1. And as we can see in this throttling calorimeter, the enthalpy of the steam before throttling and after throttling remains same. So we will find the intersection of this enthalpy H1 and this pressure line. So we can find this new state of steam after throttling in superheated region corresponding to pressure P2. So temperature will be T superheated, which will be measured by a thermometer, and enthalpy will be H2. Okay, from graph we can see that H1 is equal to H2. Now if you want to find the enthalpy of point number 2, this point, we can see that point number 2 falls inside the superheated region corresponding to pressure P2. So enthalpy of steam for point 2 at pressure P2 is equal to HF2 plus HFG2 plus CPS T super minus T saturated. This is the equation of enthalpy of superheated steam. Okay, this also I have explained in properties of steam chapter. Okay. Now we can see that the steam at point number 1 was wet steam. Okay. And after pressure drop or after throttling process, we have achieved a superheated steam. Although the pressure of the steam, temperature of steam is reduced. Okay, we can see that this saturation temperature corresponding to pressure P1 will be higher than this superheated temperature corresponding to point number 2. Okay, still we are achieving a superheated steam. Now as we know that during throttling process enthalpy remains constant, so enthalpy before throttling will be equal to enthalpy after throttling. So we will just equate those two expressions, and now in this expression we are having the values of HF1, HFG1 from steam table corresponding to pressure P1, and value of HF2, HFG2, T saturation 2 will be found from steam table corresponding to pressure P2. T super is measured by thermometer and CPS is constant value that we are knowing. So only unknown left in this expression is X1. So from this expression we can find out the dryness fraction of steam corresponding to point number 1, that is the sample we have collected from sampling tube or main steam pipe. Now limitation of this throttling calorimeter is, this calorimeter is suitable for measurement of higher value of dryness fraction, that is the steam should not be very wet. Okay, suppose we collect a steam that is very wet, okay, for in this experiment, then what will happen if I throttle this steam? Okay, then my point 2 will fall inside wet region of pressure P2. Okay, now if I equate these two expressions, the expression for point number 1 will be same HF1 plus X1 HFG1. Now expression for point number 2 will be of expression of wet steam. Okay, so it will be equated to HF2 plus X2 HFG2. Okay, that is the expression for this point. Now if we equate these two expressions, then we will have two unknowns, X1 and X2. So it will be impossible to solve this expression. So that is why limitation for this throttling calorimeter is that the steam sample should not be very wet. That is why I have shown here a steam sample which is not much wet. Okay. So after throttling it will fall into superheated region corresponding to pressure P2. And condition of steam after throttling must be superheated. Okay. So this can also be explained using these expressions only. If the steam is superheated, then there will be no another dryness fraction term inside the equation. Only single dryness fraction term will be there. So it will be easy to solve this expression. So that is why the condition of steam after throttling must be superheated. If it falls into wet region, then there will be another dryness fraction term. So it will be difficult to solve this expression and find the dryness fraction. Okay. So this is how we can find the dryness fraction using throttling calorimeter. If you have any difficulty, then you can contact me or comment below.